My best friend and husband were secretly together. I found out and made them both pay, but not how they expected. Hello, everyone. Before we begin today's video, I need your help. We've noticed that the channel is losing traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's simple, free, and allows us to keep bringing you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Thank you very much. Now let's begin the video. Hello everyone, I am Emma and I am 30 years old. My husband Mason is 32. We have been married for 5 years, together for 10. My best friend Brittany is also 30 and we have been inseparable since kindergarten. I thought I had it all, the perfect marriage, the perfect best friend, the perfect life. I really thought so. I've been a long-time lurker on Reddit, especially on our cheating stories, never imagining I would have my own story to share, but here we are. So, where do I even begin? Okay, let me set the scene. Mason and I met in college, classic college romance, He was the cute guy in my history class, and I was the girl who always sat in the front row. We hit it off immediately, and it was just easy, We laughed, we studied together, we fell in love. Brittany and I were already best friends by then, and she loved Mason too. Like in a friend way, obviously. Or so I thought. Fast forward a few years, Mason and I get married, buy a house, the whole 9 yards. Brittany was my maid of honor, of course. She was always there for me, for both of us, really. We were like this little trio, always hanging out, going on trips, celebrating birthdays, everything. Looking back now, I feel so incredibly naive. Like, how could I not see it? But honestly, there were no red flags, none that I noticed anyway. Things started to feel a little off a few months ago. Mason started working late more often. He became less affectionate. He was always on his phone, and he would jump if I got too close to see what he was doing. Classic signs, right? But I brushed it off. I told myself I was being paranoid. We were just going through a phase. Work was stressful. Life gets busy. All the excuses we make when we don't want to face the truth. But my gut was telling me something was wrong. And you know what they say about a woman's intuition? It's usually right. So I started paying closer attention. I started noticing little things. Like, Mason's cologne smelled faintly of Brittany's perfume sometimes. Or how they would exchange these quick glances when they thought I wasn't looking. Or how Brittany would suddenly be unavailable whenever Mason was working late. It was all adding up, piece by piece. Then came the night I found the messages. Mason left his phone on the kitchen counter when he went to take a shower. It buzzed with a notification. Brittany. My heart started pounding in my chest. I know, snooping is bad, but I had to know. I picked up his phone and I saw the message preview. It was just a few words, but it was enough to make my blood run cold. It said, "Miss you already." I unlocked his phone and I went straight to their messages. And read it. Let me tell you what I found there. It was worse than I could have ever imagined. Months and months of messages. Flirty messages, romantic messages, explicit messages. Messages about how they were in love with each other. Messages about how they were sneaking around behind my back. Messages about how guilty they felt, but how they just couldn't stop. It was all there in black and white. My best friend and my husband, together. Betraying me in the most disgusting way possible. I sat there in the kitchen, phone in hand, just numb. I felt like I had been punched in the stomach, like the air had been sucked out of the room. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I just stared at those messages, tears streaming down my face. How could they do this to me? How could they betray me like this? Especially Brittany, my best friend, the person I trusted more than anyone in the world. Mason came out of the shower and he saw me sitting there, his phone in my hand, tears in my eyes. He knew instantly that I knew. He didn't even try to deny it. He just stood there looking guilty and ashamed. I didn't scream. I didn't yell. I just looked at him and I said, "Is it true?" He nodded, his head hung low. I asked how long. He mumbled, "A few months. A few months." That's all he could say. A few months of lies, deception, and betrayal. A few months of me being completely oblivious while they were laughing behind my back. I felt like such a fool, such an idiot. I told him to get out. I told him I never wanted to see him again. He tried to talk to me, to explain, to apologize, but I wouldn't listen. I just wanted him gone. He packed a bag and left just like that. 10 years. Gone. Then came Brittany. I called her the next day. I didn't even know what I was going to say. I just needed to hear her voice. She answered the phone, all cheerful and bubbly, like nothing was wrong. I asked her to come over. She did, still completely clueless. She walked into my house, smiling, and I just looked at her and the smile faded from her face. She asked what's wrong. I held up Mason's phone. I said, I know. Her face went white. She started to stammer, to deny, to make excuses, but I cut her off. I showed her the messages. I made her read them, and as she read, her face just crumbled. Tears started streaming down her face. She started begging for forgiveness. She said it just happened. She said she didn't mean for it to go this far. She said she loved me, she loved Mason, she was so sorry. Sorry wasn't going to cut it. Sorry wasn't going to fix what they had done. Sorry wasn't going to erase the pain and betrayal I was feeling. I told her to leave too. I told her I never wanted to see her again either. She left, sobbing, but I didn't care. I was done. Done with both of them. Done with the lies and the betrayal. Done with the fake friendships and the fake love. I spent the next few weeks in a fog. I cried, I yelled, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I was a mess. My world had been turned upside down. Everything I thought was real was a lie. Everyone I thought I could trust had betrayed me. I felt lost and alone. My family and friends were amazing, though. They rallied around me. They supported me. They listened to me cry and vent. They reminded me that I was strong, that I was worthy of love and respect, and that I would get through this. Slowly, day by day, I started to heal. I started to pick up the pieces of my broken life. I started to realize that maybe this was a blessing in disguise. Maybe I was better off without them. Maybe I deserved better. And then revenge started to creep into my mind. At first it was just fleeting thoughts, little fantasies of making them pay for what they had done. But the more I thought about it, the more appealing it became. I wanted to hurt them like they had hurt me. I wanted them to feel the pain and betrayal I had felt. I wanted to ruin their lives. I thought about keying Mason's car. I thought about posting their messages online for everyone to see. I thought about telling their families and friends what they had done. I had all these elaborate revenge plots in my head. But then I stopped myself. I took a deep breath and I asked myself, is this really who I want to be? Is this really going to make me feel better? And the answer was no. Revenge might feel good in the moment, but it wouldn't fix anything. It wouldn't bring back what I had lost. It wouldn't heal my broken heart. It would just make me bitter and angry. And I didn't want to be bitter and angry. I wanted to move on. I wanted to be happy again. So I decided to take a different approach. Instead of seeking revenge, I decided to seek justice. I wanted them to face the consequences of their actions, but in a way that was more mature and constructive. I wanted to expose them, but not in a petty or vindictive way. I wanted to do it in a way that would protect myself and help me move forward. First, I started gathering evidence. I saved all the messages, of course. I also looked through Mason's phone for anything else incriminating. I found emails, photos, even some voice recordings. I made copies of everything. I wanted to make sure I had proof of their affair in case they tried to deny it later. Then, I started talking to a lawyer. I wanted to understand my legal options. I wanted to know what I could do to protect myself financially in the divorce. My lawyer was great. She explained everything to me clearly and patiently. She helped me understand my rights, and she helped me develop a strategy for moving forward. Next, I decided to talk to Mason's family. They had always been very fond of me, and I knew they would be shocked and disappointed to hear what he had done. I met with his parents and I told them everything. They were devastated. They couldn't believe that their son would do something like this. They apologized profusely for his behavior, and they assured me that they would support me in any way they could. I also decided to talk to Brittany's family. Her parents were like second parents to me. I had known them my whole life. Telling them was one of the hardest things I had to do. They were heartbroken. They were angry and disappointed in Brittany. They told me they were ashamed of her behavior, and they promised to talk to her and make sure she understood the gravity of what she had done. After talking to both families, I felt a little bit better. It felt good to share my story with people who cared about me and who were willing to support me. It felt like I was starting to take back control of my life. But I wasn't done yet. I still had one more step to take. I decided to confront Mason and Brittany one last time. But I didn't want to do it alone. I asked my lawyer to be there with me. I wanted to make sure everything was done legally and properly. We arranged a meeting at my lawyer's office. Mason and Brittany both showed up, looking nervous and uncomfortable. I sat across from them with my lawyer by my side and I laid it all out. I told them I knew about their affair. I told them I had proof. I told them I was filing for divorce. I told them I was going to make sure they faced the consequences of their actions. I didn't yell, I didn't scream, I just spoke calmly and firmly. Mason tried to apologize again. Brittany started to cry. But I didn't let them off the hook. I told them that their apologies were meaningless. I told them that they had destroyed my trust, and that trust was something that could never be rebuilt. I told them that they had hurt me deeply and that I would never forgive them. Then my lawyer stepped in. She explained the legal implications of their affair. She talked about the divorce proceedings, and she made it clear that I was not going to be taken advantage of. She was amazing. She was strong and confident, and she made sure that Mason and Brittany understood that they were not going to get away with this. After the meeting, I felt a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. It was like I had finally stood up for myself and taken back my power. I had faced my betrayers and I had told them exactly how I felt. I had made it clear that I was not going to be a victim. I was going to be a survivor. The divorce process was long and messy, but my lawyer handled everything. I ended up getting a very favorable settlement. I got to keep the house, and I got a significant amount of money. Mason and Brittany, on the other hand, faced a lot of consequences. Their families were disappointed in them. Their friends were disgusted. Their reputations were tarnished. They lost a lot. And me, I gained everything. I gained my freedom. I gained my self-respect. I gained my strength. I learned that I am stronger than I ever thought possible. I learned that I deserve to be treated with love and respect. And I learned that sometimes the best revenge is not revenge at all. It's moving on and creating a better life for yourself. It's been a year since I found out about the affair. A lot has changed. I am divorced. I am no longer friends with Brittany. I haven't spoken to Mason since the meeting at my lawyer's office, and honestly, I don't ever want to. But I am okay. More than okay, I am happy. I am thriving. I have built a new life for myself, a life that is even better than the one I had before. I have focused on my career, my hobbies, my friends, and my family. I have traveled. I have learned new things. I have laughed. I have cried. And I have healed, so Reddit, that's my story. It's a story of betrayal, heartbreak, and pain, but it's also a story of resilience, strength, and hope. I went through hell, but I came out the other side stronger and wiser. And I wanted to share my story with you all because I know there are others out there who are going through similar things. And I want you to know that you are not alone. You are strong. You are worthy, and you will get through this. Help me out here, Reddit. What do you think? Was I too harsh? Was I too lenient? What would you have done in my situation? Update 1. Wow, I didn't expect this post to blow up like it did. Thank you all for your kind words and support. I've been reading all your comments, and it means a lot to me to know that so many people understand what I went through and are sending me positive vibes. A lot of you are asking for updates, so here is a little update on what has happened since I posted my story. First of all, I want to address some of the comments about revenge. A lot of you suggested different ways I could have gotten revenge on Mason and Brittany, and some of them were pretty creative, I have to say. While I appreciate the suggestions, I want to reiterate that I am not a revenge-seeking person. I believe in justice, not revenge, and I believe that the best way to deal with betrayal is to move on and create a better life for yourself, which is exactly what I am doing. Some of you asked if Mason and Brittany have tried to contact me since the divorce. Mason has tried a few times, mostly through email. He sends these long, rambling emails apologizing and begging for forgiveness. I haven't responded to any of them. I have no interest in communicating with him. Brittany has not contacted me directly, but I have heard through mutual friends that she is not doing well. Apparently, she lost a lot of friends after word got out about the affair, and she is feeling very isolated and alone. Honestly, I don't feel sorry for her. She made her choices, and now she has to live with the consequences. A few people asked about my dating life. To be honest, I haven't really been focused on dating. I have been focusing on myself, my healing, and my personal growth. I'm not opposed to dating again someday, but I am not in a rush. I want to make sure I am completely healed and ready before I open myself up to another relationship. I want to be emotionally healthy and strong, and I want to attract a partner who is worthy of my love and trust. One thing that has happened that I didn't expect is that my story has actually helped other people. I've received messages from women who are going through similar situations, and they have told me that my story has given them hope and inspiration. That means a lot to me. If my experience can help even one person feel less alone and more empowered, then sharing my story was worth it. So that's the update for now. Thank you again for all your support. It really does make a difference. I will keep you all updated on my journey if anything else interesting happens. In the meantime, I am going to continue focusing on myself, my happiness, and my future. and I encourage all of you to do the same. Life is too short to dwell on the past or to let other people's actions define you. You are strong, you are capable, and you deserve to be happy. Update 2. Hey Reddit, another quick update for you all. Things have been relatively quiet on the Mason and Brittany front, which is honestly how I prefer it. No more emails from Mason, thankfully. I think he finally got the message that I am not interested in reconciliation. I haven't heard anything new about Brittany, but I am assuming she is still dealing with the fallout from her actions. Something interesting did happen this week though, and I thought I would share it with you all. Remember how I mentioned that Mason's parents were very supportive of me after they found out about the affair? Well, they reached out to me again this week. They invited me to dinner. I was a little hesitant at first, but I decided to go. I have always had a good relationship with them, and I didn't want to lose that just because Mason is a jerk. Dinner with Mason's parents was actually really nice. They were so kind and supportive. They told me again how sorry they were for Mason's behavior. They said they were ashamed of him, and they couldn't believe he would do something like that to me. They even said they had told him they were disowning him until he got his act together, which I thought was pretty intense, but also kind of validated my feelings, you know. But here is the really interesting part. They told me that they had decided to change their will. They had originally planned to leave their entire estate to Mason, as he is their only child. But after what he did, they decided to remove him from the will completely. And guess who they decided to leave their estate to instead? Me. Reddit, I was floored, I couldn't believe it. They said they wanted to make sure I was taken care of, and they felt like this was the best way to do it. They said they knew Mason had hurt me deeply, and they wanted to make amends in some way. They said they had always considered me part of the family, and they still do. I told them I was incredibly grateful for their generosity, but I also felt a little uncomfortable accepting such a large gift. I mean, it's a huge amount of money. They insisted, though. They said they really wanted to do it. They said it would make them feel better knowing that I was secure and taken care of, so I reluctantly agreed. I mean, who am I to refuse such a generous offer? So, yeah, that happened. My ex-husband's parents are leaving me their entire estate. Talk about karma, right? I never expected anything like this to happen. It's definitely a strange and unexpected twist in this whole saga. I don't know what to make of it, honestly, but I am grateful and a little bit shocked. And maybe, just maybe, this is a sign that things are finally starting to look up for me. What do you all think about this? Am I wrong to accept this? Let me know your thoughts. Update 3. Okay, Reddit, things are getting even crazier. Remember how I said Mason's parents were disowning him? Well, apparently they were serious, and Mason is not taking it well. I got a call from my lawyer yesterday. She said Mason had contacted her, demanding to know why his parents were leaving their estate to me instead of him. He was apparently furious and threatening to sue his parents to contest the will. My lawyer told him that his parents were perfectly within their rights to change their will, and that he had no legal grounds to contest it. She also told him that his parents had made it clear that they wanted me to be their beneficiary, and that their decision was final. Mason apparently did not take this news well. He started yelling and cursing at my lawyer, accusing her of conspiring against him. He even threatened to sue me as well, claiming that I had somehow manipulated his parents into changing their will. My lawyer just calmly told him that he was welcome to try to sue, but that he would be wasting his time and money. She said that she had all the documentation to prove that his parents had made their decision willingly and knowingly, and that there was no evidence of any manipulation on my part. She basically shut him down completely. After talking to my lawyer, I actually felt a little bit sorry for Mason. I know, he cheated on me and betrayed me in the worst way possible, and he deserves everything that is coming to him. But still, it must be awful to be disowned by your parents and cut off from their inheritance. It's like his whole life is falling apart, and it's all his own fault. But then I remembered everything he put me through, and my sympathy quickly faded. He doesn't deserve my sympathy. He deserves to face the consequences of his actions. He made his choices, and now he has to live with them. And honestly, maybe this is exactly what he needs to learn a lesson and to finally grow up. I haven't heard anything from Mason directly, and I hope I don't. I don't want to have any contact with him. I just want to move on with my life and forget he ever existed. But I have a feeling this is not the last I have heard from him. He seems like the kind of person who will keep causing drama and making trouble, even when it's in his own best interest to just let things go. Anyway, I will keep you all updated if anything else happens with Mason. In the meantime, I am going to try to focus on the positive things in my life, like my amazing friends, my supportive family, and my newfound financial security. And I am going to try to not let Mason's drama drag me down. Life is too short to waste time on toxic people. Don't you agree, Reddit? Update 4. Hello again, Reddit. This is likely my final update on this whole saga, because thankfully, it seems like things are finally settling down. And I am happy to report that things have taken a turn for the even better, if you can believe it. So, remember how I said Mason was threatening to sue his parents and me? Well, he actually did it. He filed a lawsuit contesting his parents' will. My lawyer was not surprised. She said she expected him to do something like this. She said it was a desperate attempt to regain control and to lash out at everyone who he felt had wronged him. The lawsuit was ridiculous, of course. It was based on completely unfounded claims and baseless accusations. Mason claimed that his parents were not in their right minds when they changed their will, and that I had exerted undue influence over them. He had no evidence to support any of these claims, but he was determined to drag us all through the mud anyway. My lawyer handled the lawsuit expertly. She filed a motion to dismiss it, arguing that Mason's claims were frivolous and without merit. She presented evidence that his parents were perfectly competent and of sound mind when they made their will, and that there was absolutely no evidence of any undue influence on my part. She basically demolished his case before it even had a chance to get started. The judge agreed with my lawyer. He dismissed Mason's lawsuit with prejudice, meaning he cannot refile it. He also ordered Mason to pay all of my legal fees, as well as his own. So not only did Mason lose his lawsuit, but he also ended up costing himself a lot of money. Talk about poetic justice. I haven't heard from Mason since the lawsuit was dismissed, and I am hoping that this is finally the end of it. I think he has finally realized that he is not going to get anything from his parents, and that he is only making things worse for himself by continuing to fight. Hopefully, he will finally give up and move on with his life, and leave me alone for good. As for me, I am doing amazing. The divorce is finalized, the lawsuit is dismissed, and I am officially financially secure, thanks to Mason's parents' incredible generosity. I have started a new chapter in my life, and it is a chapter filled with hope, happiness, and endless possibilities. I have learned so much from this whole experience. I have learned about betrayal, heartbreak, and pain, but I have also learned about strength, resilience, and the power of moving on. And most importantly, I have learned that I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be treated with love and respect, and I deserve to live a life that is full of joy and fulfillment. And that is exactly what I am going to do. Thank you all for following my story and for your incredible support. It has meant the world to me. And to anyone out there who is going through a similar situation, please remember that you are not alone. You are strong. You are worthy. And you will get through this. Take care, Reddit, and thank you again for everything. This community is truly amazing. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.